Ions, Gluten, a CGI TV show about Siegfried and Roy's cats. These are some things people had a beef about with our quiz over the last month. I'm Geeks Who Drink staff writer Jonpaul Guinn, and I'll be responding to those on this edition of the Errorogenous Zone. Last week we ran around where we described a movie to you if you took one letter away from another movie's title and you had to name the new movie. It was full of super high concept stuff like giving superhero Ryan Reynolds explosive diarrhea so that Deadpool becomes Dead Poo. But we did get under the skin of Claire Bolke, who was playing at Flat Tail Brewing in Corvallis, Oregon. She had an issue with this clue. 1994 and 2019, despite chicanery and scheming from Uncle Scar, a young subatomic particle attains his intended throne as leader of atoms and molecules. The answer was the Ion King, which should have been pretty obvious from just the context of it, the Uncle Scar, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure Claire got the question right, but she says, ions aren't subatomic particles! And Claire, you're right, and we know it. But the ass-exploding Ryan Reynolds should have been a big tip-off that we weren't being 100% scientifically accurate in these clues, and it's not our top priority there. Did we get you to the Lion King and enough to science where the ions part is going to become like the obvious thing? I think so. I was grading that night. Every team, including the last place team, all got it correct. And we're even way more scientifically accurate than a talking warthog. Moving on. Last month we ran a question on a couple of beers with Celia or Celia free in their names, and we asked you what allergen was missing from those beers. The answer was gluten. But Kitty and Kristen wrote in from El Paso to tell us that gluten is not an allergen. Since we'd never given a shit about gluten up until this point, we decided to look it up. And it turns out that, yeah, gluten is not an allergen. It is a protein found in wheat. We did change allergen to protein in the wording of the question. And the next time somebody tells you that they're allergic to gluten, you can tell them, hell no, you're not. So let's get to that cat cartoon. In July, we ran a question that said, Father of the Pride was a failed cartoon series about a white tiger that starred in what duo's Vegas show? That answer was Siegfried and Roy. The problem wasn't the answer, the problem was in the question. It wasn't about a tiger, it was about a lion. We should have been clued off to that by the fact that the show was called Father of the Pride. We did change it to lion, and we thank Rod from Corpus Christi for writing in and letting us know about that slip. And that's where this should end, except this show is so fascinating to me. It was developed for NBC Primetime, spearheaded by Jeffrey Katzenberg, who's one of the co-founders of DreamWorks. It was developed by Jonathan Groff. It starred Orlando Jones, Cheryl Hines, who you may know from Curb Your Enthusiasm, Carl freaking Reiner, John Goodman was the star of the show, who also sang the theme song, a cover of Viva Las Vegas. And it ran for 15 episodes, which means one thing. It's exactly as good as Firefly. And that's all we have time for today. So until next time, go to geekswhodrink.com, go to the Errorogenous Zone, let us know if you see anything that you think is wrong on the quiz, and you'll get some emails from us, and we may even talk to you here. Until then, take care, keep quizzing.